you should see there'll be maybe two things you need to do. When you first log in, because actually this is a step I have to do for some reason. When I first log in and I go to the very bottom of my modules course, I don't see an option for student PDFs. And that may be the case for you as well. I'm not sure the reason for this. I've asked the question several times, but have honestly not gotten an answer. So what I have to do for mine, over here, it'll say View Original. I just have to click that button and then come down here. And then when I do that, I have a folder for Student Edition PDFs. So when you open that up, that's where you'll get those topics like energy transfer for energy. You can just open those up and it provides you with a file, a PDF file there for you to download on your desktop. So let's see. Again, just to show you how I got there, in case you want to write down the steps, because again, there might be two options. Option one is when you log in, it'll be the last folder at the bottom. And that's, if it's there, then you're all done. Open it up, find what you need, download it. If it is not there, like mine, then go up to the top right, click View Original. And then it'll be that, then it will show up on that last folder there. And if those two don't give you the student PDF folder and it doesn't show up for you, send me an email and I will immediately send you the PDF that you need. So hopefully it doesn't come to that, but if it does, then we'll figure it out. Because I can just come on here and download them and then send it directly your way. So, but that should fix the problem. And again, I don't know why they have to do that. It was something, because they added these about in March or April of last school year because of everyone going to remote learning. So immediately kids didn't get to take their textbooks with them. So we put these on here kind of last minute so teachers could send those home with kids. And for some reason it uploaded as a customization. So that's why you have to kind of hit that View Customize View Original button. So, all right, any questions about that?
No.
Were you able to find them?
Yeah, I did.
Awesome. Okay, great.
I had another teacher
Caroline
ask
put
that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Caroline put a chat in there. I can't answer that question. Jesse, you might be able to.
Let me see. Are they it's an exact scan of the student books.
Yes.
So both.
Oh, perfect. Because
Yep,
I had a teacher ask that. She said, "Hey, I remember at the presentation they mentioned PDFs of the book." So I'm gonna I'll send her this recording so she can see that.
Yep. Yeah. So the only extra step you might have to do is click that View Original. That's it. And like I said, I don't know. It even happens to me. So I don't know why that's a thing, but it is. So anyway, all right. So I'm glad we were able to fix that. Good deal.
Oh my
So
wonderful.
good, great. So assigning work, I'll go through that step first. And if anything else too, I can actually open up a student account so you can see what they're going to see. But if I go here, I'm just going to assign a quick video because it's going to be the same no matter what it is you're wanting to assign. So I'm going to assign this video and make sure I do it here. And let's say that I happen to assign it twice because I know that was an issue that had kind of popped up. So I'm going to assign it again just so we can see how we can fix that. All right, so I'm like, oh, dang it, I assigned two things. I'm going to go here to find the assignments first, just to show you how to do that. We go here in the middle tab to classes. And then I assign this to my training class. And then I'll click assignments. And that gives me just the list of everything that I've assigned. And I can see that I made the mistake here and I assigned both of these to actually kind of get those out of my view and out of the queue for my students. I can click on whichever one, it doesn't really matter. And then when I click on that, you see I have this kind of panel over here pop up to the right. I can click hide. Let me zoom in there so you can see that. We don't have a delete option. And the reason for that is a lot of times people were in the kind of the early days of Realize, people were deleting things they didn't mean to delete, and then they lost all that data. So the kind of medium solution for that is a hide button. So we click hide, and so that takes it out of your assignment list. It takes it out of the queue for students. But as far as getting that back, I can go over here to this little tab at the top and click hidden. And that gives me my hidden assignments. Now, if you never do anything with it again, then just don't worry about it. You can kind of forget it exists. But another benefit to hiding is if you, let's say you take, have a pre-post, because those are available, a pre-post exam, you can assign it at the beginning of the year, collect that data, but then hide it so the students don't see that assignment during the year. Assign the post test, which is the same test, they take that, unhide the pre, and then you have those two data sets to compare. So that's another benefit to hiding an assignment. And that can be true too for any, like if you upload a grade level task that you want students to take, you know, an assessment, you can assign that, have them take it, let them see their score, hide it, keep it over here until you need it again, and then unhide it. Because see, I have this video, I can just click unhide. And that puts it back in the queue, back in my assignment list. As far as scoring things that have been turned in, we can look at this interactivity here. The one student I assigned it to actually completed that, and it was scored automatically. So I come in here to this interactivity, and that same panel pops up. And if I need to score, all I have to do, come back to these action buttons here, because we just use the hide button, I just score it. And when I go to score, there would be typically for you, I just have one student taking it. So I just have one student. You'll see the list, the whole roster of your kids. And then you just do this drop down and then review it. And that'll open up that assignment. And then you can actually go, it'll give you an option for next student, next student, next student. So it's like the digital version of grading those worksheets at your desk that you have. So that's all you have to do is go through and score these. And then again, you'll get an option for, let me move my little, yeah. So right here in this little drop down, you would see your whole roster of students. So you could go to the next kid that's in your roster.
Jesse, she asked to see that one more time. Can you show that again?
Yeah, absolutely. So, and this is the scoring, right? I didn't look at the chat, sorry.
I'm assuming, yeah.
Yep. Okay, cool. Absolutely. So to score again, let me see, do I have, no, we'll stick with this one. So again, I only have one student completing it. So just know what the view you're going to have will be your whole roster of students, but I just click on the assignment I want to score and review. I have this side panel that pops up. This is going to be common for everything that you click on, every assignment. Under actions, I click score. And then I take the first student in my roster, and you see this little box here. The program gave C3PO an 89, but if I go in there and I'm like, I don't know that that's really what he got, I can actually change that to anything I want to. So I can change that score if I want. So you're not stuck to that. When it comes to the formative assessments, the quizzes and tests do kind of, you're kind of set on those scores. But those are a lot more kind of black and white. They got the correct answer or they didn't. So to see the actual assignment, take your first student in your roster, click that down arrow, and then click review. And then that's where you can actually review, like if I wanted to go through the actual pages, those are here. And then to change students, that's going to be in this little drop down menu up here. All right, let me check the chat.
And is there a report that gives me all the students' grades?
Yes, absolutely. So you can go to the data tab here. And I'm going to go to that class. And let me see if I can find, that's going to be, let's see, let me just go and see what assignments I have. Let me actually, this, that's what's causing our issues here. All right, so that assignment for some reason is not popping up. Let me, but I know you can take all of those scores. So let me, because I don't want to fill up the whole hour of me clicking around trying to find that. I'm going to do a screencast and I'll send that to you. Will you type your email into, or I'll tell you what, I'll just send it to Caroline. I'll send that screencast to her and she can forward that to you as far as how to get all of those scores for that interactivity. Because these are just giving me actually the quizzes and the test, and that's not what we were looking at. So,
Hey, just, there was a question that came in. Go ahead. Someone was talking.
No, I know. I can show that scores for students. I know where to find the scores for students.
Okay.
Yeah. If you want, I can show.
Yep. Go right ahead. Do you want to share?
Give me a minute because
While she's doing that, Allison, what was the question?
Well, I was just wondering if people can elaborate on what they're saying about a lag time or things not loading. Like, can anyone clarify what the issue you're having? Because that will help me when I talk to IT to see, you know, what the issue is. Is it that the e-text isn't loading? Is it that the internet is moving slow and like videos aren't loading? Like, what are things you guys are experiencing?
I can kind of speak to that. I actually started back up trying to utilize the software on yesterday. So I set out one assignment, which was like a lesson one, and put just like what we're seeing now, some of the options there. So I was walking through with students because it's been a while since we actually logged in. I'm going to be honest, because of the same issue. So what it was, so I actually, sometimes I can go from one screen to another, like the way this young lady is going through does not go that quick even for me. But my students have even a greater issue. So I've actually had them to share their screen so I could actually watch what's occurring. So it's, going from one screen to another, you'll see, it'll take like a whole full minute or two to go from one screen to another once they get logged in. And then getting to the e-text, absolutely, like it took like a whole 5 minutes. It took me 20 minutes to actually try to get them to maneuver through, and most of them still could not. So I ended up sharing my screen, but then I got stuck also just clicking on the assignment itself, which was just that one lesson that I had with the assignments underneath, and then trying to click on like the next page, this is where we're going. So, eventually last, I was like, okay, guys, let's just watch my screen. And then my screen did the same thing with, it's lagging. So it's like, it's there, it's thinking, and I just called it a server issue, but I didn't want to give up on it this time like I did in the past, because, now, we have Elevate, and I'm like, this is, let's try and utilize this. But it lags so bad that we can't follow together. Or I did do the whole making sure that they were bringing down any other tabs to see if that would help. And I noticed that was a small help, but we still encountered the same issues even when we started over. So I even went so far as to have my students to, make sure that they, logged off and came back, counted for a minute or what have you, and brought their iPads down, thinking maybe that's an issue. So I was kind of trying to do some troubleshooting myself, and not giving up this time on actually utilizing the software because I know there's a benefit to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I will ask our IT. Do you know if like your internet connectivity is really strong? Like there's no internet connectivities with where you're accessing it?
So I know for us at the school, we have strong internet capabilities. My students, most of them, we're typically fine. I know in the neighborhood in the past 48 hours or so, there have been some students who had issues and there was an issue with Cox or what have you. But we've encountered this many a times before.
Okay.
And I just kind of gave up. So I was like, I'm not giving up this time because I really, this is a great resource, I think.
Okay, I'll definitely check into like what if there's any troubleshooting on things taking a while to load. Jesse, have you heard of anything? And then also Caroline, are you hearing this from lots of people? Is
Yeah,
everybody having this
I'm getting
issue?
weekly emails now. Like I'm getting weekly emails from different teachers of this didn't load, help today was hard. Like,
Mhm.
like exactly what Miss Tang Taylor is saying of I'm trying to use this with my students. Oh, sorry, my dog is like over here growling. He's like, let me in. I'll let him in a second. Like just the same issue of, they're trying to get the students to use it, but then it's frustrating because it doesn't load for the students. So then they have to screen share. Right
Mhm.
now it was helpful to hear about that PDF text feature because a lot of the teachers who are really tech savvy, like even for me, I was like, oh, I didn't know where to find the PDFs, but some teachers found that and put that on Canvas, and that was easier. But then, we want to make sure they get the videos, that they get the interactivities,
Right.
they get to see all that good stuff. Jesse suggested that I email our tech team too and say, can you look at filters?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do that today. So that way on our end, we try to troubleshoot, and then it sounds great if we can try to
Yeah.
work around too.
And Caroline, do you mind? You mentioned the math. Is there anybody you can reach out to quickly and ask if they're seeing that on the math side?
Yeah,
Too?
actually, yeah, I can. Especially I can do it by next Friday because my
Mhm.
curriculum team, I think it's K4, right? The K4
Mhm.
folks are using math because and I'll talk to Sabrina too. I don't think I
Okay.
hear it as often in math, but for my science teachers, I'm hearing it on like a
Yeah.
weekly basis.
Because
Yeah.
if the math or they're not having a problem, there shouldn't be a problem in science. So it could be
Yeah.
like something's not on the white list. Well, I'll look into it. I'll ask our IT as well.
Okay, can I share my screen?
Yeah. If Caroline, you might have to finagle that.
I think she's good. Go ahead, Sujala. I think you can. Let me know if you can.
Yeah, right now, yes. I was trying to, but I could not. So see, you can see this like this. And where I can send the scores to the students also when they are done. Send scores to all students. I can just send them.
Yep. And you can see those that have received them and that haven't.
Yeah,
Which
those
is
are the
great.
number, and I have to score this. Then finally,
Mhm.
I'm going to send them to them.
Yeah, and when you get those not scored, that's just kind of letting you know there's a fill in the blank or a short answer type question to a quiz or a test because our program can't tell the difference in a really articulate, scientifically accurate question and IDK, which our kids inevitably type into the response sometimes, right? So,
Yeah,
all right, awesome, thank you.
you're welcome.
Yeah, and another spot that'll be different because it's not kind of thinking beyond those like the tests, when you go and want to see one of the formative assessments, like here I have this interactivity where I have 3 kids that have completed, 2 that are in progress. Again, I've got that side panel here. And when I go to score, I have that list of grades here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just won't be found with those, the percentages as far as in the data, but that'll be listed here. And I have an average score of a 27, so I need to reteach this apparently. So, all right. The last thing as far as on my checklist that I had was kind of making it easier to navigate through all of these resources that you have and all of the clickiness, right? And that's with the playlists. Have any of you used the playlist yet for planning? Some yes, some no. They're really great in terms of organizing the content that you want to teach. So let's go here. And this is my lesson 3. And you've decided that you want to assign just a few of these things, your kids, maybe just like 3 or 4 activities. So you've decided to have them write for a connect activity. We are going to watch the video. You're going to flip your classroom. That's what they're going to do during their asynchronous time. I'm going to do a lab demo video because they're not going to be able to do this at home. So I'm going to demo it, but they're going to answer the questions on that You Investigate lab. And then I'm going to assign the quiz. So when you toggle those things, I'm going to click Add Selected to Playlist. Create new playlist because this is new. And I'm going to put energy, if I can spell, lesson 3. And you can call it whatever you want. It's totally up to you. Because these are actually going to stay in your account. So name them something that kind of works where you can tell the difference because it's almost like a digital lesson plan for you. You can also assign things one at a time. Let's say later on you decide we're going to do this enrichment activity, or I'm going to differentiate, and my students that scored, or seem to be doing a little bit better on the lab, I'm going to assign them that enrichment activity while I do some small group reading with those kids that need just a little bit extra help. I can add to playlist. I already created this, so there's my energy topic, lesson 3. And as far as where this goes, this lives in your library tab. And your library tab here is where you'll find all of the things that you want to add, whether it's a playlist, a file, or a link. And then here are all of those activities that I have. And I can even change the order because I'm a little type A and I want it in the right order. So I can move those to go in the sequential order or the scope and sequence that I'm going to actually assign them to my kids. All right. Anything else? I know we had a few people jump off. They have kiddos today, so.
Yeah, Ms. Desai, is there any other questions? I know in the chat I had asked you and you had said you got them answered, but anything else you can think of?
No, I just one thing, like the playlist can be saved like for how long? Like if I create my playlist for like 3 months, can I just save it so that I can
Yeah, it'll actually be there as long as you have the account. So 5 years from now, if you're still teaching using that login, it's there.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
It only leaves if you tell it to, so.
Okay. Okay, that helps in planning like for future. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. Like for me, I was always like, what did I do last August? I have no idea. So
No, it's a good tool. Thank you.
yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. I think that might have been Ms. Desai. Her students are probably coming in, huh? All right, Ms. Desai.
Actually, they're already in. Yeah.
Oh,
Actually, I logged
have
in
a
through my
good day.
iPad and my laptop is already doing my kid stuff. But
Oh,
I wanted to be here, so.
Thank you
Yeah.
for being here. I appreciate it.
No, thank you so much. Yeah,
No
this was
problem.
helpful a lot.